What money? That was rent. My father said it with a small smile on his face. 6 years, $144,000 gone. He sat at the kitchen table holding his coffee like he had just told me the weather for tomorrow. My mother would not look at me. She kept stirring her tea. Clink, clink, clink. Like that spoon was the most interesting thing in the entire room. They promised me every single dollar was going into a savings account. They showed me a screenshot of a balance. They told me, "Keep going, honey. You're almost at your down payment." And the whole time they were using it for things I did not know about yet. But when I finally found out, I stopped asking questions and I began collecting proof. This is a story about a folder and what happened when I opened it at Thanksgiving dinner in front of 30 people. Before I continue, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if you truly feel connected to this story. And while you're there, leave a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is right now. My name is Myra. I'm 28 years old. I work in a dental lab in a small town in Virginia. Now let me take you back 6 years to the week I moved back home after graduating from college. The day I carry my last box through the front door, my parents are already waiting at the kitchen table, not sitting casually, positioned. Dad at the head of the table, Mom to his right. 2 cups of coffee already poured, and a third one steaming in front of the empty chair. That should have been my first warning sign. My parents never pour coffee, for me. "Sit down, sweetheart," Mom says. Dad and I have been talking. I'm 22 years old. I've just walked across a stage in a rented gown, shaken a dean's hand, and received a degree in applied sciences. Starting Monday, I have a job at a dental lab 14 minutes from this house, salary $42,000 a year before taxes. Not amazing money, but real adult money. Dad clears his throat. Here's the deal. You live here, save money, pay us $2,000 a month, and we put every penny into a savings account in your name. 3, maybe 4 years, and you've got a down payment. You'll be buying a house before any of your friends. $2,000 a month. $24,000 a year. I do the math in about 2 seconds. My friends are signing leases on apartments, paying $1,200 to $1,500 a month, and building nothing. This feels different. This feels smart. This feels like planning for the future. It's the wise choice, Mom adds. She reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. "We're doing this for you, honey." I say yes before I even finish my coffee. That night, I'm in my childhood bedroom unpacking boxes when I hear them talking through the wall. Their voices are quiet, but the house is old and the walls are thin. Mom's voice floats through. "This solves everything, Dale." I smile to myself. I think she means me coming back home. I think she means family dinners and extra help around the house. She doesn't. But I will not learn what everything really means for another 3 years. Let me explain what $2,000 a month looks like when you make $42,000 a year. After taxes, I bring home roughly $2,700 every 2 weeks. Half of each paycheck goes straight to my parents. What's left covers gas, car insurance, my phone bill, and groceries that I buy to cook dinner for the family, because Mom says it's the least I can do since I'm living at home. I drive a 2014 Honda Civic with a cracked dashboard and a passenger window that only goes down about 3/4 of the way. My coworkers go out for lunch at the Sandwich Shop on Route 9. I eat leftovers from a plastic container at my desk. "Why don't you just get your own place?" my coworker Danielle asks one afternoon. "I have a plan," I tell her. "It's going to be worth it." And I truly believe that, because I'm not struggling for nothing. I'm investing. Every month my parents are putting my money aside. Every month I'm getting closer to a front door with my name written on the deed. Around month 12, I ask Mom for the balance while we are washing dishes. "Can I see the account?" "I want to add it to my budget spreadsheet." "Of course," she says. "I'll send you a screenshot tonight." At 9:47 p.m., my phone buzzes. A screenshot, white background, one single line, $24,000, no bank logo, no account number. Just a number on a plain screen. $24,000. 12 months times $2,000. The math is perfect. I stare at it while lying in bed and something in my chest relaxes. I'm doing this right. I save the screenshot. Not because I'm suspicious. I save it because I feel proud. My brother Travis is 3 years older than me. He's an electrician. He married his high school girlfriend, Jenna, at 24. They now have a daughter, Lily. She's 3 years old. Bright red curls. Laughs at almost everything. Travis lived in this house until he was 25, 4 years after finishing high school. He never paid a single dollar of rent. Not once. When I bring this up at dinner one evening, not angry, just curious, Dad puts his fork down slowly like I have insulted him. Travis had different circumstances. He was saving for a wedding. Mom adds quickly. I'm saving. For a house, I reply. That's not the same, Dad says. How is it different? I ask. Mom cuts in before he answers. Don't compare yourself to your brother, Myra. This is about your future. I let it drop. I always let it drop. 2 months later, Travis and Jenna close on a house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Half-acre lot in the newer neighborhood off Miller Road, listed at $260,000. Down payment, $52,000. Everyone at Sunday dinner congratulates them. Dad stands up and claps Travis on the back. That's my boy, a real homeowner. I smile. I clap. I say all the right words. But later, driving to the pharmacy, a thought starts scratching inside my mind and will not stop. Travis makes decent money as an electrician, yes. But Jenna was working part-time at the daycare. They had a wedding. They have a child. $52,000 for a down payment. Where did that come from? I roll the window down as far as it will go. Cold air rushes in and hits my face. I do not have proof yet. I do not have facts. But the question settles inside me like a quiet buzzing sound that will not turn off. By year 3, I have paid $72,000. I ask Mom for the account number this time. Not just the balance, the actual account number. I want to set up online access. For myself, we are standing in the kitchen. She is wiping down the counter and does not look at me. It's a joint account under your father's name. You can't access it separately. Can I at least see the statements? Of course. I'll send you one tonight. Tonight comes and passes. I wait a week. Then I send a text. Hey, Mom. Still waiting on that statement. No rush. Just need it for my records. So sorry, honey. Been busy at work. This weekend, I promise. The weekend comes and goes. I ask again, gently, carefully, like touching a bruise to see how much it hurts. 3 weeks later, she sends another screenshot. Same white background. Same plain text. Balance, $72,000. Again, the math is exact. 3 years, $24,000 per year. But this time I look closer. No bank name, no routing number, no header, no footer. Just a number floating on a white screen like it was typed into the Notes app. I zoom in. The spacing between the numbers looks slightly uneven. My stomach reacts in a strange way. Not a full drop, more like a small jerk. I sit on my bed and stare at that screenshot for 11 full minutes. I know because I check the time when I start and when I finally stop. Then I tell myself, it's Mom. She probably cropped it strangely. I place my phone on the nightstand. I turn off the light. But I do not fall asleep for a long time. And that quiet buzzing question about Travis's down payment gets louder. 3 Sundays later, the clinic closes early because of a plumbing problem. I get home around 2 in the afternoon. The house is quiet. Dad's truck is gone. Mom's car is in the driveway. The sliding glass door to the backyard is open a few inches. I hear her voice before I see her. She is on the patio with her phone, pressed to her ear, facing the garden. I set my keys down softly on the counter. We covered most of Travis's down payment, she says. She doesn't know. And Dale thinks we can keep this going another 2 years, pay off the rest of the business loans. My hand freezes against the countertop. A small voice from the phone answers, too quiet for me to understand clearly. Then, Mom again. Ruth, relax. She'll get her money eventually when Dale's business improves. Aunt Ruth, Mom's younger sister, the retired accountant. Now I hear Ruth more clearly. Connie, that's not right. You told her it was a savings account. It will be eventually. Just don't say anything. I do not move. I barely breathe. I stand behind the kitchen island with my palm flat against the granite and feel my heartbeat in my fingertips. $52,000. Travis's down payment, my money, and the rest going toward business loans. Dad's plumbing company, the one he always said was doing fine. I quietly walk to my room. I close the door without making a sound. I sit on the edge of my bed and stare at my hands. Then I open my phone. I take a screenshot of the date and time. Sunday, October 15th, 2:07 p.m. I do not scream. I do not cry. I create a folder. That night, I lock my bedroom door and open the calculator app. 3 years paid. $72,000 gone. If I keep going for 2 more years like Dad wants, that is another $48,000. Total, $120,000. Gone into a business I was never told was struggling. Gone into my brother's house. Gone into a story that was never real. And for the first time since, I moved back home, I stop feeling proud, I start feeling awake. Gone. I play the situations again and again in my head. If I face them right now, they will deny everything. Mom will start crying. Dad will raise his voice. They will say I misunderstood. They might even erase the messages, delete the emails. Say the screenshots were just rough numbers or future plans, and it will become my word against theirs. If I walk away, if I simply stop paying and move out, I lose everything I already gave. $72,000. No legal proof, no official records. Just an upset daughter with a story nobody can confirm. But if I stay, if I keep sending money, if I let them continue talking, continue texting, continue emailing, continue leaving voicemails, every single message becomes a line in a record. They do not know I am building. I open Google Drive. I make a new folder. I name it Home Fund Docs. The first file I add is the screenshot from tonight, the date, the time, the exact moment I found out. Then I scroll back through my texts. Every message where Mom talks about savings. Every email where Dad mentions the account. Screenshot, upload, screenshot, upload. 14 files by midnight. I shut the laptop. I brush my teeth. I stare at myself in the bathroom mirror for a long time. I am not staying because I am scared to leave. I am staying because I need them to keep lying. In writing. On record. Tomorrow morning I will hand Mom the check like I always do. $2,000. She will smile. She will say thank you. And she will not know it is the first payment in a very different kind of account. I become extremely careful about how I ask things. Never face to face. Never where words disappear into thin air. Always by text. Always by email. Always in written words that stay saved. 1 week after the phone call, I send Mom a message. Hey, Mom. Just checking. The savings account is still at the same bank, right? I want to add it to my budget spreadsheet. 3 dots appear, then her reply. Yes, honey, everything is growing nicely. Dad and I are so proud of how responsible you are. Screenshot, upload. 2 months later, I email Dad. He is old-fashioned. He checks email for his plumbing business. He rarely texts. I keep the tone light. Dad, when do you think I will be able to use the savings? I am starting to look at house listings just to understand the market. His answer comes the next evening. Give it another year or 2. The interest rate is good. Do not rush. You will thank us later. Screenshot. Upload. I never ask a question unless I already know what they will say. I just need them to say it in writing. Every couple of months, I find a new way to ask. Should I start checking fixed-rate mortgages? Do you think $72,000 is enough for a down payment right now? Should I begin talking to a realtor? Each time they answer. Each time they mention the savings, the account, your money, and every single time I save it. Once Mom even sends a heart emoji. Your future home fund looks great, sweetheart. I stare at that message for a long time. Your future home fund. 5 simple words typed by her thumb, marked with time and date. By her phone. She has no idea she just added another line to my evidence folder. I close the app and go cook dinner for the family like I always do. Year 4. A Tuesday in March. I am at the lab, wearing gloves, leaning over a dental mold when my phone vibrates inside my coat pocket. I cannot answer. Mom leaves a voicemail. I do not listen until lunch. I sit alone in my car in the parking lot. Windows closed, engine off. I press play. Hey, sweetie. Just wanted to tell you I moved some of your savings into a different fund. Better rate. I will explain when you get home. Love you. I play it 3 times. Your savings. Her voice. Her words. Recorded. Time stamped. Stored by my phone company. I save the voicemail. Then I back it up to the cloud. Then I email the audio file to myself. 3 copies. 3 different places. That night, Mom explains at dinner, I moved your money into a higher yield account. It is earning more now. Dad nods like he already knows the script. That sounds great, I say. Thanks for keeping track of it. Of course, baby, that is what parents do. I smile. I chew my pot roast. I ask for another serving. Inside, I am taking notes. She said, your savings in the voicemail. She said, your money at dinner. Dad nodded. Both of them. Same table, same story, same lie. After dinner, I go to my room and open the Google Drive folder. 14 screenshots, 3 email chains, 1 voicemail, 18 pieces of proof and growing. I lie in bed and think about something Aunt Ruth said on the phone that Sunday. That is not right, Connie. Ruth knows. Ruth does not approve. Ruth told Mom to stop. But Ruth is Mom's sister. Blood is thick in this family. The question is how thick. I drive to Aunt Ruth's house on a Saturday morning. 30 minutes on back roads, past the feed store and the old railroad bridge. She lives in a small brick ranch house with window boxes filled with pansies. She opens the door before I even knock, like she has been waiting. Kitchen, she says. I just made coffee. We sit across from each other at her small table. She is 52, retired early, bad knees, worse back, 26 years as a county accountant. She knows what money looks like when it is moved around. I do not waste time. Aunt Ruth, I need to ask you something, and I need the truth. She studies me for a long moment. Her coffee steams in her hands. You heard us on the phone that Sunday, did you not? I nod. She closes her eyes, then opens them, and sets her mug down. Your mother told me her exact words. Myra's rent money covered most of Travis's down payment. I told her it was not right. She said you would get it back when Dale's business improved. And you believed her? No. Ruth slowly shakes her head. I did not. The kitchen is quiet, except for the ticking wall clock. A red bird lands on the feeder outside the window and then flies away. Aunt Ruth, if I ever need you to say that out loud to someone important, will you? She does not answer right away. I can see her thinking about Connie, about family, about holidays and phone calls and decades of sisterhood. Then she reaches across the table and puts her hand over mine. She is my sister, but you are my niece, and what they did is wrong. I squeeze her hand. I say nothing else. I drive home with both hands on the steering wheel and a second name standing in my corner. Year 5. I find the county legal aid clinic the way most people find things they need badly. Late at night. Alone. Typing into a search bar with shaking fingers. Free consultation Tuesdays and Thursdays. Walk-ins welcome. I go on a Thursday after work, still wearing my scrubs. The waiting room smells like floor cleaner and old paper. A woman with a stroller sits across from me, bouncing a baby on her knee. A man in paint-stained jeans fills out a form with a short pencil. After 40 minutes, they call my name. Greg Novak, paralegal, mid-40s, glasses hanging on a cord, shirt sleeves rolled up. He shakes my hand and points to a chair. Tell me what happened. I talk for 30 minutes. I do not cry. I explain it the way I have practiced in my car for months. Facts, dates, dollar amounts. Then I open my phone and show him the folder. He scrolls slowly. His face stays calm, but his scrolling becomes slower as he goes deeper. How many pieces of proof do you have? 22 texts and emails, 1 voicemail, and a witness. He removes his glasses and looks at me carefully. This is not just a spoken promise, Myra. You have written and recorded proof that supports your claim. In Virginia, this could qualify as promissory estoppel. They made a clear promise. You depended on it. You lost money because you depended on it. And they knew you were depending on it. So I have a case? You have a strong case, but $144,000. If you complete the full 6 years, that amount is above small claims court. You would need to file in circuit court. We can connect you with a pro bono attorney. I nod. My hands are no longer shaking. I want to wait, I say, until I finish paying the full 6 years. I want the number to be complete and final. Greg studies me, then nods slowly. Smart choice. Keep saving every message, every file. I walk out to the parking lot. The sun is setting behind the courthouse. I sit in my Honda Civic and hold the steering wheel. For the first time in 3 years, I feel something different from anger. I feel prepared. Year 6. October. The last payment clears. 72. Months, $144,000. That same week, Mom sends a group text to the whole family. Thanksgiving at our house this year. Everyone is coming. 30 people confirmed. I am so excited. I read the message while sitting in my car outside the clinic. I read it again. Then I open the calendar and count the days. 5 weeks. I call Greg Novak. He connects me with Pamela Harding, a contract dispute attorney who takes pro bono cases through legal aid. She sounds direct on the phone. No small talk. Bring me everything, she says. I bring her everything. The printed folder is 2 inches thick. She reviews it at her desk while I sit across from her with my hands folded, watching her read my life in time-stamped pieces. After 20 minutes, she closes the folder and sets it down slowly. You have one of the strongest promissory estoppel cases I've ever seen at this amount. We can file the day after the holiday. She looks at me over the top of her glasses. Do you think they'll deny it? In front of everyone? Yes. Good. A denial. In front of 30 witnesses helps us, not hurts us. Every single person in that room becomes a possible deposition. I'm not planning to cause a scene at Thanksgiving. I'm planning to ask one question, one last time, in front of people who can clearly hear the answer. If they tell the truth, we handle it as a family. If they lie, I handle it in court. The week before Thanksgiving, I drive to the office supply store on Route 9 and buy a plain manila folder. Nothing special. I print every screenshot, every email, every text message, every voicemail transcript. I slide them inside one by one. I close the metal clasp. It weighs almost nothing in my hands. It holds everything. Thanksgiving Day. 2:00 p.m. I pull up to the house and park behind a long line of cars that stretches past the mailbox. Pickup trucks, old sedans, a minivan with a car seat in the back window. The whole family is here. I check my rearview mirror. My eyes are steady. My lipstick is fine. My breathing is even. My purse sits on the passenger seat, slightly open so I can see the edge of the manila folder inside. I touch it once, just to remind myself it's real. Inside, the house smells like roasted turkey and cinnamon. Mom's Spotify playlist plays soft country music through the Bluetooth speaker in the living room. Around 30 people fill the downstairs. Aunts and uncles crowd the kitchen. Cousins gather in the den. Kids run down the hallway, laughing and yelling. Mom meets me at the door. She pulls me into a hug that lasts 2 seconds too long. My baby girl, come in. Everyone's already here. Travis nods at me from across the living room. He has a beer in one hand and Lily on his hip. Jenna stands next. To him, laughing at something Cousin Mike just said. Dad is outside by the grill, flipping something that doesn't need to be flipped. I move around the house the way I always do. I hug Aunt Ruth. She squeezes my arm once, very lightly, and I know she understands today is different. I hug Grandma. She cups my face in both of her hands and studies me. You look thin, baby. I smile and tell her I'm fine. I help Mom set up the long table in the dining room. I fold the napkins neatly. I carry the sweet potato casserole from the oven. I bounce Lily on my knee and make her laugh. No one looks at me twice. No one suspects anything. I am the youngest daughter doing what she has always done, showing up, helping, staying quiet. My purse sits on the floor near the coat rack. The folder is inside. The folder is patient. So am I. After we finish the main course, Dad stands up. He picks up his glass of sweet tea and taps it gently with a fork. Clink, clink, clink. Everyone, can I have your attention? The room slowly quiets. 30 faces turn toward him. He is wearing his good flannel shirt, the one without any paint stains. He looks proud. He looks comfortable. He looks like a man who believes the story he is about to tell. I just want to say how thankful I am for this family, for this house, for this food, he says. He pauses for effect, and I'm especially proud of Travis. 31 years old, beautiful home, beautiful wife, beautiful daughter. He's the one who really figured it out. People clap. Travis smiles wide. Jenna squeezes his arm. Dad keeps going. Myra. He turns to look at me, still smiling. You'll get there someday, don't worry. Some people just take a little longer to find their way. Soft laughter fills the room. Not mean laughter. Worse. It is polite. It is patient. It is patronizing. A few heads nod. An aunt I only see once a year leans closer to me and whispers, "Still renting, sweetie." Mom answers before I can open my mouth. She's saving up. She's got a plan. I turn and look at her. A plan? I repeat her exact words. She smiles back at me without any sign of worry. I quietly set my fork down. I look at my plate. Turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce. The same meal I have eaten at this table every November for 28 years. I sit there listening to my father praise Travis for figuring it out with my money. I think, does he actually believe this version of the story? Or does he need to say it out loud so it becomes real? If you have ever sat at a family table and been turned into the example of what not to be, while the person who benefited from you got the toast, you know exactly what this feels like. What would you have done? Would you stay quiet? Or would you speak? I reach for my purse. I wait for the clapping to fade, for forks to start moving again, for conversations to restart. Then I speak. Not loudly, just clearly enough for the table to hear. Dad, since we're all here, I found a house I'd like to buy. He looks up at me, still glowing from his speech. That's great, honey. I'd like to begin the process of withdrawing from the savings account, the one you and Mom have been managing for me 6 years. $144,000. The air in the room shifts, not in a dramatic way. Just a few forks stop in midair. A few people glance at each other. Dad looks at Mom. Mom looks down at her plate. What savings account? He asks. The one I've been paying $2,000 a month into for 6 years, I say. He stares at me for a second. Then he laughs. Not a nervous laugh. A real laugh, like I told a funny joke. Myra, that was rent. You lived in our house. That was rent. The word rent lands in the center of the table like a plate dropped on tile. You told me it was going into savings, I say carefully. I don't know what you're talking about, he replies. Mom's voice is small. Dale's right. It was just rent, honey. I look at her. She stirs her iced tea again. Clink, clink. The same small sound I heard at the kitchen table 6 months ago when this first started to feel wrong. 30 people sit in silence. Uncle Frank's wife slowly puts her napkin down. Grandma's eyes move from me to Mom to Dad like she is watching a slow-motion car crash. From the far end of the table, Travis speaks. Come on, Myra. Don't do this here. Think about the family. Think about the family. The family that spent my money. The family that lied about it. The family that just laughed at me. I do not answer Travis. I open my purse. I take out the manila folder and place it gently on the table between the gravy boat and the cranberry sauce. I don't slam it. I don't throw it. I set it down the way someone sets down a Bible in church. I didn't want to do this here, I say. But you just denied everything in front of our whole family, so let me show them what I have. I open the folder. The first page is a printed text message. I hold it up so people can see. This is a text from you, Mom. March 15th, year 2. I asked about the savings account. You wrote, and I quote, "Everything's growing nicely." Mom's lips part slightly. No words come out. I turn to the second page. This is an email from you, Dad. October 8th, year 3. I asked when I could access the savings. You replied, "Give it another year or 2. The interest is good." Dad's smile disappears. His face changes color. Not red, not pale. Something in between. Like a man watching a locked door slowly swing open. I lift the third page. This is a transcript of a voicemail from you, Mom. You said, "And I have the recording saved. I moved some of your savings into a different fund. No one moves." The Spotify playlist has switched to another soft guitar song that nobody is listening. Uncle Frank leans forward in his chair. Cousin Mike sets his beer down carefully. Grandma's hands are flat against the table. Mom's eyes are locked on the folder. Her face is white. Not light. White. The color of someone seeing their own handwriting on paper they never expected anyone else to read. "Where did you get that?" she whispers. "From you," I say. "From all of you. You just never thought I was paying attention." The room breaks apart in quiet ways. Aunt Connie covers her mouth with her hand. Tears fill her eyes. "You're tearing this family apart, Myra." "On Thanksgiving. How could you do this?" Before I can answer, Grandma's voice rises from the end of the table. Low and steady. 80 years of authority in 4 simple words. "Connie, let the girl speak." Dad pushes his chair back. It scrapes loudly across the hardwood floor. "This is ridiculous. She lived here. She ate our food. $2,000 a month is fair rent anywhere." Uncle Frank speaks without looking up. "Dale, $2,000 a month for a bedroom in this town? That's more than my mortgage." Aunt Linda nods in agreement. Cousin Mike crosses his arms. The room is picking sides without saying it out loud. Dad points his finger at me. "You're ungrateful. After everything we did for you. You used her money for Travis's house. It's Aunt Ruth." She says it from the kitchen doorway, her arms folded, her voice calm and flat. Connie told me herself, down to the exact dollar. Mom turns quickly toward her sister. "Ruth, don't." "Don't what?" Ruth says. "I told you 2 years ago it wasn't right." The silence that follows feels heavy. Jenna slowly turns to look at Travis. Her face is confused, open, like she just heard something in a language she doesn't understand. "Travis," she says softly. "Is that true?" He doesn't answer. He picks up his beer, sets it down, picks it up again. "Your down payment," Jenna continues, speaking slower now. "The $52,000, that was Myra's money?" Travis looks up at the ceiling. "It's complicated," he mutters. It isn't complicated. It is simple math and a lie that has finally run out of space. Jenna's jaw tightens. She stands up from the table. Lily begins to cry softly. No one has touched dessert. No one will. I close the folder carefully. I stand up. The room watches me the way people watch someone walk out of church in the middle of a sermon. Not angry, not cheering, just watching. I didn't come here to fight. I say it calmly. I came here to ask one question. I asked it. You answered. Now everyone knows the truth. Mom went full-time at the insurance office instead of staying part-time like she had for years. She picks up extra shifts when someone calls out sick. They cut their cable package down to the basic plan. The boat at Lake Anna gets listed for sale in early spring. It sells by June for less than they hoped, but enough to make a dent. The vacations stop. No Myrtle Beach that year. No Smoky Mountains cabin in October. They start cooking at home more. Coupons appear in Mom's purse where gift cards used to be. The second payment comes on time. So does the third. Always on the 15th, always $3,000. No message attached, no memo line, just the transfer. It becomes a quiet rhythm in my life. I stop checking the account every hour. I stop holding my breath on the 14th. I begin to trust the pattern, not them. Just the pattern. At work, I focus better. I take on extra training at the lab. I start putting money into a retirement account for the first time. Not because I'm rich now, but because I finally feel steady. The debt that sat on my chest for 6 years is no longer mine. It's theirs. And the court made sure of that. 3 months into the payments, Mom sends one email. Not about the case. Not about the money. Just a recipe for banana bread like she used to. No subject line. Just the ingredients and steps. I read it twice. I don't reply. I'm not ready to pretend we are normal. But I don't delete it either. Dad never contacts me. Not once. His pride is a hard wall. I used to run into it and bruise myself trying to climb over. Now I just walk around it. Thanksgiving comes again. 1 full year after the night everything broke open. I'm not invited. Or maybe I am, and it gets lost in the silence. Either way, I make other plans. I drive to Aunt Ruth's small house instead. She makes a turkey breast instead of a whole bird. Just enough for 2 people and leftovers. We eat. At her round kitchen table with the vinyl tablecloth that still has tiny yellow flowers on it. Halfway through dinner, she says, "Your grandma is proud of you." I swallow. Is she okay? She's fine. She just doesn't tolerate foolishness anymore. We both smile at that. Grandma and I start meeting once a month for coffee, at the diner near Route 11. She moves slower now. Her hands shake a little when she lifts the cup. But her mind is sharp. One afternoon she says, "You didn't break this family. The lies did." I hold on to that sentence like a key in my pocket. By the end of the first year, 12 payments have come through. $36,000. I keep a small spreadsheet on my laptop. 4 columns, date, amount, received, remaining balance. I don't obsess over it, but I track it. Watching the number go down feels like watching a storm move away on radar. Dale's business never fully recovers. It doesn't collapse either. It just shrinks. He works longer hours, takes smaller jobs, drives farther for less profit. Pride is expensive. Lies are more expensive. Travis and I cross paths once at the grocery store. Aisle 7. Cleaning supplies. We both stop when we see each other. He looks older than he did a year ago. More lines around his eyes. "Hey," he says. "Hey." We stand there for a moment like strangers who share a memory neither of them knows how to name. "They're making the payments," he says finally. "I know." He nods. "It's tight." "It was tight for me too," I reply. Not mean, just true. He opens his mouth like he might argue, then closes it. "Yeah," he says. "I guess it was." That is the closest thing to an apology I ever get from him. At month 18, Mom sends a short message through Pamela. They want to know if they can pay extra 1 month to reduce the total term. Pamela forwards it to me with a note. "Your decision." I think about it for a day. Then I agree, as long as it goes through the same legal channel. No side deals, no handshakes, paper trails only. The next month, $5,000 arrives instead of $3,000. The remaining balance drops faster. I don't feel joy. I feel calm. Some nights, I sit on my small balcony on Elm Street and think about the girl I was at 22. Working double shifts, handing over $2,000 every month because I believed my parents when they said they were protecting my future. I want to reach back through time and shake her, but I also want to hug her. She trusted. That wasn't weakness. That was love. 2 years in, the town has moved on to other gossip. A new pastor at First Baptist. A scandal about the mayor's cousin. People forget details, but they remember the outline. Dale lost a lawsuit to his own daughter. That part sticks. The payments continue. $72,000 repaid. $90,000 repaid. $108,000 repaid. Each time the number changes, I feel lighter, not because of the money alone, but because of what it represents. Truth recorded. Truth acknowledged. In the 3rd year, I buy a small used car with cash. Nothing fancy. Just reliable. I sign the title in my own name. No cosigner. No promises. Just mine. Grandma passes away in the winter of year 3. Peacefully, in her sleep. At the funeral, the whole family gathers again under soft lights and quiet music. Mom cries into a handkerchief. Dad stands stiff beside her. Travis keeps his arm around Jenna. After the service, Mom approaches me outside near the line of cars. "I'm sorry," she says. The words are small, barely louder than the wind. "For what?" I ask. "For all of it." I look at her face. Really look. She seems older. Tired in a way that goes deeper than sleep. "I hope you are," I say gently. "I needed you to be my mom, not my banker." Tears slip down her cheeks. "I know. It isn't full repair. It isn't a movie ending. But it's something. The payments don't stop after that. Apology does not cancel debt. Accountability stays in place. At month 46, the balance is almost gone. Only $6,000 left. 2 payments. I sit at my kitchen table again, the same place where the first deposit came in, and think about the long path from that Thanksgiving night to now. I remember Dad's voice. "You're not getting a dime." I remember the judge's calm tone. I remember Pamela's steady hand sliding the paperwork across the desk. I remember my own voice saying, "I'm done being your savings account." 47 months, $141,000 repaid. The final payment arrives on a bright Friday morning. $3,000. The memo line is still blank. I stare at the screen for a long moment. $144,000 received in full. No fireworks, no music, just a quiet number settling into place. I print the final statement and place it in a new folder. Not the old one from Thanksgiving. A clean one. I label it closed. That evening, I take myself out to dinner at a small restaurant downtown. I order steak instead of chicken. I leave a good tip. I walk home slowly under streetlights that hum softly in the dark. When I unlock my apartment door, I realize something simple and strong. The money mattered, the ruling mattered. But what mattered most was this. I believed myself. When everyone else in that room tried to make me doubt my own memory, my own reality, I held on to it. 6 years of lies, 4 years of repayment, one decision that changed the direction of my life. People sometimes ask, quietly, if I regret suing my parents. I tell them the truth. I regret that they lied. I regret that it came to court. But I do not regret standing up, because here is what I learned. Family is not a free pass to take and call it love. Love does not require blindness. Trust is not built on fake screenshots and soft voices at the dinner table. The last time I saw Dad was at the hardware store. He nodded once. Not warm, not cold. Just a nod. It was enough. I walk through my life now without owing anyone for my own future. The deadbolt still clicks each night in the apartment I chose. The rent is still paid to someone who calls it rent. My bank account is steady. My sleep is deep. And if I ever have a daughter one day, and she hands me her hard-earned money believing I will protect it, I will. Not because a court would make me, but because she would trust me. That is something I will never break. The first time in 20 years, she is working 40 hours every week. She comes home exhausted now, Ruth says. She goes to bed early most nights. Travis offered to help with the payments. Dad told him no. This is between me and your sister. Between me and your sister, not between me and the court. Not between me and the mistake I made. Between me and your sister. He says it like it is just a small argument. Like it is only a simple difference of opinion. He still cannot say what it truly was. But the money shows up every single month. On the 15th, $3,000, 48 months in total. I do not spend it. I do not touch it. I place every dollar into a savings account, a real one at a real bank with my name printed on it, and a routing number I can look at any time I want. No one controls it except me. No one moves it except me. 2 months after the ruling, I find an envelope sitting in my mailbox. White paper, handwritten, no return address, but I know the handwriting right away. The careful, slightly shaky cursive of a woman who learned penmanship in a one-room schoolhouse long ago. Grandma. I carry it inside with both hands. I sit down on my couch. I open it slowly. The way you open something you already know you will keep forever. Dear Myra, I have known about your mother's favoritism longer than you have. I saw it when you were 12 and she missed your piano recital because Travis had a baseball game that same night. I saw it when you graduated and the celebration was an afterthought, thrown together at the last minute. I did not speak up because I told myself it was just a phase, that she would balance out in time. I was wrong. What you did at Thanksgiving took more bravery than anything I have seen in this family in 80 years. I know it cost you. I know it is still costing you. But you stood in that room and spoke the truth when everyone else was comfortable sitting with the lie. Your grandfather, God rest him, always said you were the strong one. Not strong because you fight. Strong because you know when it is time to. I am sorry I did not speak sooner. I should have. That is on me. Love always, Grandma. I read it 3 times. The 3rd time the words blur because my eyes will not stay dry. She knew. She always knew. And she stayed silent to keep the peace. To keep everyone calm. This letter is not only love. It is an apology from the one person in the family who never owed me one, and the only one brave enough to give it. I think about all the people in families who notice the unfairness, but stay quiet because silence feels easier than truth. If you have ever been that person, or if you have been waiting for someone to finally see what you see, I understand you. I truly do. Tell me your story in the comments. I slide the letter carefully into the manila folder. It rests beside the documents and the records. Now the folder has 2 parts, proof and grace. 4 months after the ruling on a Thursday evening, I am on the couch reading when my phone lights up beside me. Dad. I stare at the screen through 2 full rings. My thumb hangs over the answer button, then I press it. Myra. His voice sounds different, not smaller exactly, but older, like these past 4 months aged him in a way the previous 57 years never did. I am not calling to argue, he says. I wait and let the silence stretch. I wanted to hear your voice. The line hums softly. I hear a television murmuring in the background, the quiet creak of his recliner moving. Your mother misses you? A short pause. I do not know how to fix this. I close my book and place it on the arm of the couch. Dad, fixing it begins with 1 word, and you know which word that is. Silence. Long enough that I check the screen to see if the call dropped. It has not. I am sorry. His voice cracks on the 2nd word. Not in a dramatic way. Just a thin crack, like a tiny line in glass. I do not even know when I started lying to myself, he adds quietly. I let his words sit between us. I do not rush to accept them. I do not throw them back at him either. I appreciate you saying that. So, Can we? The payments continue, Dad. And I need you to understand something clearly. I keep my voice steady. Gentle, calm, but firm. I love you. But I will never trust you with my money again. That boundary is not going away. It is not temporary. I know, he says softly. I know. We stay on the phone for another 10 seconds without speaking. Then he says, "Good night." I say good night. We hang up. It is not a full reconciliation. It is not a perfect movie ending. It is a 57-year-old man calling his daughter because her absence hurts more than his pride, and it is a 28-year-old woman letting him speak without letting him escape responsibility. It is what family can look like when you remove the lies and face what remains. Sometimes what remains is not much, but at least it is honest. So here is where I stand now. I am 28 years old. I live in a small one-bedroom apartment on Elm Street. $900 a month. I chose the paint color myself, a pale blue that catches the morning light and makes the space feel calm. Every month, $3,000 arrives in my bank account. My real bank account, with a routing number and a password and a balance I can check at 3 in the morning if I feel like it. I am saving for a house. My house. On my timeline. In my name. No shared access. No confusion. No surprises. My relationship with my parents still exists, but barely. I call once a month. We talk about the weather, about Grandma's knees, about small things that do not really matter. We do not talk about the money. We do not talk about Thanksgiving. That conversation goes through Pamela now. She handles the legal side. Travis and I do not speak at all. Not texts, not calls, nothing. Jenna sends me photos of Lily sometimes, at the playground wearing a tutu, eating spaghetti with both hands, and sauce on her cheeks. She always writes the same caption. She asks about Aunt Myra. I stare at those pictures longer than I expect to. I see Aunt Ruth every Sunday. We eat lunch at her kitchen table. She makes soup. I bring fresh bread from the bakery down the street. We do not always talk about what happened. Sometimes we just sit in quiet. Sometimes quiet feels safer than words. The manila folder stays in my closet. Inside it are the bank records, Grandma's letter, the court ruling, every document. I do not open it often. I do not need to. I know it is there. And knowing it is there is enough. If you are listening to this and any part of it sounds familiar, the payments that never made sense, the sibling who always received more, the parent who said trust me one too many times, I want to tell you something important. Setting a boundary with your family does not make you a bad daughter. It does not make you ungrateful. It means you are a daughter who understands her value. Your family is supposed to be your foundation. But when the foundation is cracked, you do not keep building on it and hope it will hold. You pour a new one. You rebuild stronger. That is what I did. It was not loud. It was not dramatic. It was steady and clear. There is peace in having your own bank account. There is peace in having your own key, your own lease, your own name, on every line that matters. There is peace in knowing that if something falls apart, it will not be because you ignored the signs. Sometimes people will tell you that money should not come between family, but money is rarely just money. It is trust. It is honesty. It is proof of who is valued and who is not. When trust is broken, it is not the dollar amount that hurts the most. It is the lie attached to it. I still love my parents. That did not disappear. Love and boundaries can exist in the same space. They have to. Loving someone does not mean giving them access to everything. Loving someone does not mean pretending nothing happened. I am not angry every day anymore. The anger comes in small waves now instead of storms. Sometimes it shows up when I pass the old house. Sometimes it shows up when I hear about Travis buying something new, but it leaves faster than it used to. What stays is clarity. Clarity feels different than anger. It is quieter. It does not shake your hands. It simply tells you what is true and asks you to act accordingly. And the truth is this: I deserved fairness. I deserved honesty. I deserved to know where my money was going and why. Saying that out loud at Thanksgiving changed everything. It broke something open that will never fully close again. But sometimes breaking something open is the only way to let light in. So if you are sitting at your own table, holding your own folder, waiting for your own moment of enough, hear me clearly. You are not wrong for wanting transparency. You are not dramatic for asking questions. You are not selfish for protecting yourself. You can love your family and still say no. You can answer the phone and still keep your boundary. You can accept an apology and still remember what happened. That is where I am. Not healed completely, not broken either, just standing on something solid that I built myself. Thank you for staying with me through this story. If it meant something to you, if it reminded you of your own dinner table, your own envelope, your own quiet realization, hit subscribe. Share this with someone who might need to hear it today. And if you want another story like this one about an ordinary person who finally decided enough was enough, check the link in the description. I will see you there. Thank you for listening. I truly mean that.
If you like a video, do not forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos.